Did you know that many people might be living with anxiety right now without even realizing it? And the most shocking part? Anxiety isn't always that obvious nervousness we all imagine. In fact, the most dangerous signs are completely counterintuitive. Here's a controversial truth. Many people think they're just tired, distracted, or even normal, but they might be ignoring a much bigger issue. What if I told you that in less than 5 minutes, you'll discover the 10 most common symptoms of anxiety, some you'd never imagine? Stick with me until the end, and you'll be surprised at what your body might be trying to tell you. First, we need to ask, what is anxiety? Anxiety is a natural response of our body to stress. We all experience some form of anxiety at important moments in life, like a job interview, a test, or public speaking. However, when this feeling of fear or worry begins to dominate daily life without a clear reason, it could indicate something deeper, an anxiety disorder. Anxiety disorders are among the most common mental health conditions in the world. According to the American Psychological Association, APA, anxiety is an emotional response characterized by feelings of tension, worried thoughts, and physical changes like increased blood pressure and muscle tension. The APA also notes that when anxiety becomes excessive, persistent, and interferes with daily activities, it can develop into an anxiety disorder, a condition that affects millions globally. What makes this situation even more complicated is that, often, the signs are subtle and easy to confuse with common fatigue or stress. The truth is, anxiety can manifest in unexpected ways, and recognizing its signs is the first step to seeking help. Remember, what we'll cover here is for informational purposes only and doesn't replace a medical consultation. But how can you tell if what you're feeling is anxiety or just a tough day? Below, we'll explore the 10 most common symptoms of anxiety that you might be ignoring. 1. Excessive worry. One of the most common characteristics of anxiety is constant and intense worry about various life situations. This goes beyond the normal concern over a specific problem. In anxiety, the worries are exaggerated, often out of proportion to reality, and occur frequently. I've always had these types of catastrophic thoughts since I was a child, and it took me a long time to realize that this was anxiety. I only discovered it as an adult. This kind of worry can last for weeks, months, or even longer. An anxious person tends to anticipate the worst, even in situations that seem common or even positive. For example, something as simple as going to work might be accompanied by thoughts like, what if something goes wrong? Or, what if I lose my jobs? If you constantly feel like something is about to go wrong, even without an apparent reason, this could be a strong indication of anxiety. 2. Physical tension. Another very common but often overlooked sign is constant muscle tension. People with anxiety may feel their muscles are always tight, as if they're ready to react to an imminent threat. Sometimes this tension is so habitual that the person doesn't even realize they're always tense. This physical tension can manifest in different ways, such as back pain, neck or shoulder pain, frequent headaches, or even the classic knot in the stomach. If your body is always on high alert, it might be a sign that your mind is dealing with anxiety. If you feel these aches, comment below so we can share experiences. 3. Racing heart, tachycardia. A common physical symptom, but often ignored, is an increased heart rate without apparent reason. When someone is anxious, the body goes into fight or flight mode, releasing hormones like adrenaline, which can cause the heart to race, tachycardia. Even in everyday situations, you might notice your heart beating fast without physical effort. If you frequently feel your heart racing for no apparent reason, or in situations that didn't make you nervous before, this can be a clear sign of anxiety. 4. Difficulty concentrating. Have you noticed that you're more distracted lately? Another common manifestation of anxiety is difficulty concentrating. This happens because the mind is overwhelmed with worries and anxious thoughts, making it hard to focus on a specific task. In many situations, a person may feel disorganized or unable to complete simple tasks. This can negatively affect performance at work, in school, or even in daily activities. In my case, my mind is always thinking about the next task I need to do, making it hard to focus on what I'm doing at the moment. If you're constantly losing focus or feeling out of it, this could be a clear sign that your mind is battling anxiety. 5. Sleep problems. Sleep disturbances are one of the most impactful symptoms of anxiety. This can manifest in various ways, such as difficulty falling asleep, waking up in the middle of the night and not being able to fall back asleep, or shallow, non-restorative sleep. When your mind is worried and anxious, it's very hard to relax enough to have quality sleep. Chronic insomnia can be one of the first signs that something is wrong. What are you thinking about before going to bed? If you often struggle to fall asleep or wake up feeling exhausted even after hours in bed, it's worth considering if anxiety could be behind it. 6. Constant fatigue. Even if you've slept well, fatigue can be a persistent symptom of anxiety. This happens because your body and mind are always on high alert, which consumes a lot of energy. Over time, this feeling of exhaustion becomes almost permanent. Additionally, anxiety can trigger a vicious cycle. You feel exhausted because you're anxious, and the exhaustion makes you even more worried, generating more anxiety. If you're constantly feeling tired, with no energy for activities you once enjoyed, it's time to evaluate if anxiety could be the cause. 7. Irritability. Anxiety can affect your mood, and one of the most common signs is irritability. When your mind is constantly worried, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and irritated by things that wouldn't normally bother you. This state of irritation can affect your personal and professional relationships as small situations become major sources of stress. Often, the anxious person may not even realize they're more irritable than usual, but those around them do. Ask your family or friends if they notice the symptom in you. The answers might surprise you. 8. Fear or panic. Panic attacks are sudden, intense episodes of fear that can include physical symptoms like a racing heart, sweating, shaking, shortness of breath, among others. These episodes can be triggered by specific situations or occur without an apparent reason. What makes panic attacks particularly frightening is that they often happen unpredictably, causing the person to live in constant fear of the next attack. If you've experienced a panic attack, it's essential to seek professional help, as this could be a sign of a more severe anxiety disorder. 9. Social avoidance. People with anxiety, especially social anxiety disorder, tend to avoid social interactions. This goes beyond shyness or discomfort in crowds. Avoidance can manifest in various ways: not answering phone calls, avoiding meetings or events, or even finding excuses to stay out of group activities. This aversion to interactions can harm relationships and lead to isolation. If you've noticed that you're avoiding social interactions or even distancing yourself from friends and family, this could be an important sign of anxiety. 10. Digestive problems. Lastly, one of the most common yet least talked about symptoms of anxiety is digestive problems. The famous nervous stomach might just be the beginning. Anxiety can cause chronic intestinal discomfort, such as irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, heartburn, nausea, and constipation. If you frequently feel discomfort in your stomach, especially in stressful moments, it might be a sign that anxiety is affecting your digestive system. Anxiety can be a debilitating condition, but the first step to overcoming it is recognizing its symptoms. If you identified with many of the signs we discussed here, don't ignore what your body and mind are trying to tell you. Seeking help from a mental health professional is crucial to understanding the root of the problem and starting to improve your quality of life. Now, I want to know, have you experienced any of these symptoms? Or do you know someone going through this? Share your experiences in the comments and help others understand that they are not alone. And if this content was helpful to you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our upcoming videos on mental health and wellness. Oh, and remember, the more people learn to identify the signs of anxiety, the more support and awareness we can create. Share this video with those who need it, and together, let's build a network of information and empathy.